I feel like shit.
Monday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hum.
It's just one of those days where you don't wanna wake up. Everything is everybody sucks. You don't really know why. You wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact. And if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet.
Just knock it off, you scum bucket.
It's just one of those days. It's just one of
Monday,
those.
happy days.
It's just one of
Tuesday,
those.
happy days.
It's just one of those
Happy days.
days.
The weekend comes, my cycle hums. Ready to make space.
It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one to complain, leaves with the bloodstain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better cause I'm fucking up your program. And if you're stuck up, you just locked up. Next in line to get fucked up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just,
I'm losing my cool.
it's all about
Monday, happy days.
It's just one of
Tuesday,
those,
happy days.
it's just one of those
Happy days.
days.
The weekend comes, my cycle hums. Ready to make space. These days,
I feel like shit. My suggestion is to keep your distance. 'Cause right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the bonds.
My day keeps going this way, this way. I'm gonna pop you one so you'll stop playing games. Give me something great. Give me something great. I hope you know I pack a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
But we some mistaken identity, you know? See, now this here,
Not Robert.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Moody, and welcome to episode 169 of the Mood of the Nation podcast. How's everyone doing this fine Tuesday afternoon? Well, I said evening or just there, but it's technically still the afternoon. But anyway, we're here now. So, yes, episode 169. I'm going to be doing the show for about an hour and a half. Well, I'm going to be leaving just slightly earlier tonight because, of course, I got a meeting to go to at 7 p.m. So I'm going to see if I can try and, of course, be as prepared as I possibly can regarding to that. So let me see, 11 people watching already, which is really good to see. Who's in the chat just now? Rory Herbert is with us. Thanks very much for watching Mood of the Nation. English Rose is with us, of course. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. And lastly, at the moment, 77th Brigade is with us for watching Mood of the Nation. That's fine, no worries. Thank you very much for coming along. And yeah, so thank you all very much. So I did say on the last episode, which was this past Sunday, I was thinking about doing another episode for Monday, but I kind of figured, well, I wasn't really going to plan on doing a stream on Monday because, again, I was quite tired and exhausted. So I thought maybe I'll just make Monday just a chilled, relaxed day. And I was actually supposed to be back at work today, but unfortunately, there was actually not an issue with work, but basically they said to me that I wasn't required to come in today, but I'm scheduled to come back tomorrow and then work throughout the week through up until Saturday, I think it was, and then off Sunday and Monday, and then of course back in Tuesday for the full week. So yeah, that's not too bad, I guess, with regard to that. So I think there's more people coming into the chat. There's Joe Marsh in the chat. Thanks very much for watching Mood of the Nation, Joe. Budgie Burger is with us. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. And lastly, so far, the Earl of Stair is watching us. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Appreciate everyone being here. What was I saying? Yeah, so that's why I thought I would do the show tonight because, again, I did say in the last episode I want to do 2 episodes per week, or at least go back to doing 2 episodes per week. So there might be a case where I might be doing 2 episodes per week, but sometimes maybe 1 episode per week. But again, we'll just need to wait and see. As I said on the previous show, I'm determined to get up to episode 200. So, but we'll see to that. So thank you all very much for coming along. Of course, follow me on all the other platforms if you can, like Telegram, not Twitter because I'm suspended off of Twitter now. Back in fact, when was that? When I was suspended? That must have been back in, what was it? No, it wasn't April. It must have been either late April, early May, I think. Now that I think of it, but yeah, don't follow me on Twitter because I'm no longer on there. Definitely follow me on Telegram, Gab, and any other TikTok. You can follow me on there. As I said, I'm still developing another video for that platform at the moment. Not really been able to get around to it because I've been busy and such, but you can still follow me there nonetheless at the moment. So Rigor Mortis is with us. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation as always. Thank you very much. Joe Marsh, good job supporting those hotel protests. The locals seem motivated. Do you know what? I'm actually glad that's been brought up because I think that's something that definitely needs to be addressed because I think there's been a lot of development going on and I'm gonna butcher the name, so I think it's Linelli, I think it's pronounced. Hold on. Let me just double check that. Hold on a minute. I did have it on here somewhere. Let me see. Linelli. Linelli, right there we go. I know Joe is in the chat just now, so again, I just want to pronounce the Welsh correctly because as a running joke on the show, I can never really pronounce a lot of words correctly, but that's just me not being the brightest apple in the tree. But I thought for stuff like that, especially if it's Welsh sounding names, I'll just mention that in this case. So Linelli, there's been a lot of development going on as in Linelli. So a lot of the local people are not happy with the way things have been going, not feeling like they're being listened to by the council in that area. And yeah, you could definitely see with a lot of videos, most of those videos being produced by the Welsh nationalist, aka Joe Marsh, on his Telegram and other platforms, mainly Telegram, and well, Telegram and YouTube, I would say. You can tell that the local community in Linelli are not happy with this, with the migrants moving in, and of course, they're speaking out against it. And there has been some videos that have been coming out as of late regarding to it. So it's something that I want to delve into a bit more later on. But for now, I do have a couple things I want to mention as well for the show. Thank you, English Rose, for bringing up Telegram and also Odyssey. Oh, I actually can't believe I almost forgot about Odyssey, but there we go. So definitely follow me on Odyssey just in case if something were to happen to my YouTube, if it gets nuked or whatever. But Sir Thomas Lipton, thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. And lastly, Gammon Sandwich is with us. Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. So yes, follow me on those other platforms. Of course, if you want to support the show financially, as per usual, you could always send in a donation through PayPal, which, by the way, the PayPal link, which is pinned up there, is slightly different than the link I normally use. So I think the link I've put in the pinned comment for the PayPal donation link is one where it's a bit different. So it's not like the other link where if I put it up, you click on it, but then I think you have to go through other pages to actually donate or something like that. But with the link that's in the pinned comment there for the PayPal donation link, it's literally just you click on the link and then there's the options there if you want to send a donation through regarding to that. So it's there basically. I think it's a much more simplified version of the link that I normally use for the show, but it's there anyway. Alternatively, you can send a donation through Buy Me a Coffee or through Odyssey with the support button. Again, please don't feel obligated if you have to do that. It's there as an option basically if you want to send a donation through or not. So there we go. As more people come into the Roy Harper, Chief Moody is pronounced clinic. I am to please. Oh, hold on one sec. Clinelli, was it? Oh, how come in Google it's saying like Linelli? Oh, anyway, right. Well, it's there anyway regarding to that, but according to Google, it's pronounced as Linelli. I don't know why I can't pronounce it right, but I mean it's Welsh at the end of the day. So there we go. So there has been some development going on with that at the moment. So let me see here. So I mentioned all the stuff at the moment. Right. So let's start off with the first topic at hand today, which is about the BBC. Now, which I don't worry, folks. I will talk about that demonstration in Wales after this article I want to bring up here just now, because it was one of the things I was definitely want to talk about on the last show, but didn't really get around to it. But I'll definitely talk about this here. So there has been some development with the BBC because apparently the BBC are at it again. Now, what I mean by this, well, there has been another scandal as of late with a certain BBC presenter basically taking advantage of a young person to try and get nudes or whatever, and then want to pay money for it. And of course, the BBC, as per usual, of course, is not really much of a surprise at this point. But the BBC, of course, have been trying to keep it under wraps. Which I mean, I don't know why they would want to do that. 1 second here. I did pause that, but it just continued to play. But anyway, there is a video I want to play. Actually, no, before I do that, I want to get this article up here. I'm going to play a video on YouTube first of all, and then once I've done that, then we'll get on to the article itself. As it's actually like a fair. In fact, this article here was first published like an hour ago, so it was quite perfect timing, in my opinion, with that. So, but before we do that, let me see if I can share the screen, entire screen, audio, system audio, just in case, of course. Let me see here. Right, get onto this screen here. Of course, this would be the ideal screen for it. So, so there's a video that came to my attention. The video is titled "Some Advice from Hugh Edwards." Now, let's give this a watch, and then we'll continue on from there with the article by ITV News. So, 3, 2, 1.
One note of caution: always be careful. It's important to check all the sources. They might not be giving you the full picture, or they might have made, an innocent mistake. So you need to be careful. Only use those sources that you trust. Are they likely to have accurate information on the story? How much checking do you need to do? Depends on the type of source, but it's usually a good idea to check the information with at least 2 different sources. That's our policy. So we have truth and accuracy, 2 of the BBC's basic news values. The audience need to trust you, and that depends on you being accurate. They're important values, and they'll help you become not just a reporter, but a trusted school reporter. One more important bit of advice: to protect people under the age of 18, you must only use their first names in reports. Never use surnames, okay? That's a good policy too. So good luck finding the news stories. Have fun, and we'll talk again.
Wow. Talk about the cope of the century. Now, I understand there'll be people. Hold on 1 second here. Roy Herbert again. Chief Moody, Joe Marsh will be very annoyed with you if you don't pronounce Lanelli correctly. But this is like Satan telling you to behave. I know, right? We'll get to that in a moment here. Like, we trust the BBC. How does he keep a straight face? I know, right? We will be your single source of truth. 2 sources, so the BBC and the paper as well. Indeed. Well, I just want to state this very clear, folks, because a lot of people I know are going to say in the chat that Hugh Edwards is the pervert in question. But I think what we need to be very cautious here, because it's been alleged, or is allegedly that Hugh Edwards has been engaging in degenerate behavior. Now, I know there's going to be people in the chat that are going to bring this up, and yes, I am fully aware that there is a photograph surfacing online of presumably, I think it is Hugh Edwards showing his bottom, and I'll say that in that case. How do I know this? Well, it's been shared around on Telegram. I believe it's been shared around on Twitter and all the other major platforms. So it's not looking too well. And even this article here, that literally it was published on 22 minutes past 4, but I think it's been updated since, by the ITV News, and it reads: BBC presenter facing new claims after second person alleges they received threatening messages. So that's a second person that's come out about this, because I did have a look at some of the articles earlier on, and there's been recent articles that came out that the young person in question has denied the claims that this is all BS and like this is all just made up, essentially, like this never happened. The parents of that said young person stand their ground and say, no, this is exactly what happened. This BBC presenter is a pervert. They're trying to pay money to their son or daughter, not entirely too sure the gender of the child or the teenager in question, trying to get nudes from this young person and trying to pay the money for it, so on and so forth. Well, the young person, as I said, tried to deny it. This is all completely made up. The parents are standing their ground. No, this actually did happen. And now we have another breaking news coming out that a second person is involved and they received threatening images by this BBC presenter. Again, I know people are going to speculate that, oh, well, not speculate, but I'm going to outright say, oh, it's Hugh Edwards. But again, we don't really have the full facts or the full context. I know there's that image that's surfacing online, but just for the sake, we have to make it as allegedly, and we have to see it as BBC presenter at the moment. So the article continuing on the reads, the BBC presenter facing allegations that he paid a teenager for sexually explicit photos, sent threatening messages to a young person in their early 20s, the broadcaster has reported. The fresh allegations add further pressure for the BBC as it deals with the fallout from separate claims made against the unnamed male presenter and first reported by the Sun newspaper at the weekend. Speaking to BBC News, the young person, who has no connection to the person at the center of the Sun's story about payments for photos, said they had been scared by the power the presenter held. According to the BBC, the individual met the presenter on a dating app before their conversations moved to the other platforms. The presenter then revealed his identity and asked the young person not to tell anyone. The young person later posted online alluding to having had contact with the BBC presenter and hinting they might name him. The presenter then sent a number of threatening messages, quote unquote, which the BBC says it has seen and confirmed came from a phone number belonging to the presenter. The BBC said the young persons felt threatened by the messages and remained scared. BBC News said it had contacted the presenter via his lawyer but had received no response to the allegations. On Tuesday, the BBC said it had paused an internal investigation into the allegations against the presenter after the meeting with the Metropolitan Police. In a statement, the broadcaster said it was asked to pause its investigations into the allegations while the police scope future work. So I think I've not seen this earlier on, but this is what's now showing a timeline of events that have occurred. So again, just for the sake of the story, the timeline of events so far. So Thursday, the 18th of May, the complainant attends a BBC building where they sought to make a complaint about the behavior of a presenter. Friday, May 19th, the complainant contacts the BBC Audience Services. This contact is referred to the BBC's investigation team. The investigation team concludes the information provided did not include allegations of criminality, but nonetheless merited further investigation. Tuesday, June 6th, after the complainant failed to respond to an email requesting information to verify their identity, the BBC attempted to contact them by phone, but the call did not connect, according to the BBC, and the case remained open. Thursday, July 6th, the Sun contacts the BBC about the allegations, with their source being the same person as the original complainant. The Director General and other senior staff are informed. The BBC said these allegations were different to the matter already being investigated. Thursday, July 6th, a senior manager discussed the allegations with the presenter involved, and it is agreed that they will not appear on air until the matter is resolved. Now, just real quick with this part here, because apparently, now this is something I've noticed recently. I don't know if this has been going on for a while with this case, but this is a post I've seen on Telegram, but apparently, the reason why people are saying it has to be Hugh Edwards because he was normally the BBC News presenter at 10 p.m. every night, I believe. But he did not appear recently. In fact, there was even a post on Telegram that posted this recently about that, and that's why people are speculating that is Hugh Edwards. That and plus the recent photograph that surfaced online, where he showcased his bottom to someone. But again, this is alleged. We don't know if it actually is Hugh Edwards. It might be in the photograph in question. Might be maybe the context of it might be going towards something entirely different. I don't know, but that's why people are saying why this may be the case. Let me see here. What's the other one? Oh, here we go. Friday, July 7th, The Sun publishes a story that an unnamed BBC presenter has paid a teenager thousands of pounds for sexually explicit photos. The teen's mother accuses the star of fueling her child's crack cocaine addiction. The BBC contacts the police regarding the allegations. Saturday, July 8th, Gary Lineker and Jeremy Vine tweet they are not the identified staff member following social media speculation. Now, that's interesting that this is brought up because I believe James Costello himself has made a video about this and he criticized Jeremy Vine and Gary Lineker. I think it was Jeremy Vine of the two who made a tweet about this, but it was the context of the tweet came out as like very like a snarky kind of remark type of thing, but I'm not entirely too sure. But James Costello was not entirely too happy with it to the point where he actually made a video criticizing both Gary Lineker and Jeremy Vine based on their takes of this whole case. Because again, this is quite a very serious allegation that's being thrown around, and the fact that either Jeremy Vine or Gary Lineker or both basically make like quite snarky remarks about it, showcase that one, they don't really take this type of case very seriously, and two, I would imagine that that they're just absolute complete degenerates. But anyway, but this is not something that's new with the BBC, as we all know that the BBC are capable of defending degenerates for years upon years. I mean, the most famous case that we all know, and I can think of at the moment, would be I can't believe I'm actually forgetting the guy's name. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. I was in my head as well, but Jim will fix it. I know that's like the name of the show, but I actually cannot believe I'm forgetting the name. Wait a minute here. I know people are going to say it. I'll type it in the chat, but just in case. Jimmy Savile, that's the name. I cannot believe for the life of me I forgot that name. Sorry, folks. But yes, Jimmy Savile, that was like a very prime example of the BBC defending someone like Jimmy Savile. Despite the fact from the I believe it's the 70s and then onwards, there's been hundreds, if not thousands of children, parents even, or plus the parents making these complaints to the BBC that, hey, this is what he's been doing. My child has said this, or that even the child themselves will say it to the complaints team and say, look, this is what's happened. This is what's going on with this child. Why aren't you doing anything about it? And the BBC just did nothing but defended someone like Jimmy Savile for years and years and years until after 1 second here. Wow, I just received a big donation, but I'll get to that in a moment or two. I was gonna say 1 second here. Yes. So with regards to Jimmy Savile, after Jimmy Savile died, that's when you start seeing all the information coming up and all of the degeneracy that Jimmy Savile was involved in. Another example I can think of in terms of the BBC defending, pedophilia and all that stuff is, of course, that famous, well, I say famous, but infamous statue by Eric Gill. I think the statue in question. Hold on. Again, I've read this up earlier on, but I just want to make sure that I get it correctly when it comes to that. I believe the name of the statue is Eric. Hold on, BBC statue, because I looked this up earlier on. BBC to repair HQ sculpture by pedophile Eric Gill. So there we go. So, and there's been other stories that are similar to this. So again, now I know some people might view this as like pedophilia, but again, I think it's more to do with the fact it's more of degeneracy when it comes to that. So where I don't think I finished this list. Hold on a minute here. Saturday the 8th of July, the complainant sent the BBC more information regarding the complaint. And also Joe, I did read your message on Telegram. If you're fine with that, I'll bring you on in just a short second or two about the demonstration. Hold on a minute here. Sunday, the 9th of July, Rylan Clark also denies any connection to the story, and the BBC confirms the accused presenter has been suspended and the corporation is in touch with the police. Monday, 10th of July, Downing Street issues a warning to social media sites following baseless accusations thrown at top BBC talent. Met Police confirmed they are still establishing whether a criminal offence was committed. Monday, July 10th, the young person at the centre of the allegations told BBC News via a lawyer that the allegations are rubbish and there is no truth at all in the Sun's report. Monday, July 10th, the parents of the young person speak to the Sun and say they stand by their claims. Monday, July 10th, after further meetings with the police, the BBC caused their investigation at their request. And finally, Tuesday, the July 11th, which is today, BBC Director General Tim Davie is set to speak to media in the wake of the reports. So there we go. And that seemed to be the end of the article. So this is all we know just now, but I'm sure there'll be more development coming along in a later date. So yes, let me see. Definitely owes you an apology. Dear. Right. Let me see if I can get up here. In fact, let me just respond to your message, Joe. Hold on a minute. I know I've already said it anyway about that. If you want me to pop on to talk about when I can, but I got to go. But right. Okay. Well, if you're still there, Joe, I mean, I don't know if it's a little bit late or not, but yeah, you can come on just for a little bit, and then I know you have to leave quite shortly after that. I'll just send you the link just in case. Hold on a minute here, and hope I'm not too late with that because I could have actually spoke about that what's going on in Wales at the moment, but maybe a bit late when it comes to that. But I mean, if you're still there, Joe, if you want to come on, then you're very much welcome to. Because I know that's something you participate in with that demonstration anyway, and I know it's something that I've actually been following quite a lot. Because I can see that the people in that area are not happy with the situation, and they really are speaking out about it. That they really don't want these migrants in this hotel to begin with. Speaking of which, he's in the backstage just now. I'll just bring him on real quick, and I know he's have to leave sharply, but I'll just bring him on. Here is, ladies and gentlemen, here is Joe Marsh on the show.
Hello.
Now, yes, Joe, can you hear me? Hello, Joe. How you doing?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me
I
okay?
can hear you fine, loud and clear.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
loud and
I've
clear, yeah.
got to go. I've only got about 10 minutes because I'm still working at the moment. But I thought
Yeah.
if you wanted me to talk about Llanelli, I can do it. It's
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
you were going to talk about it on your anyway, were you?
I was, yeah. I thought I would talk about that article about the BBC pervert story at the moment, and then I was going to talk about what's been going on in Wales because I think I'm impressed with the local community there because I can tell, as I was saying earlier, they clearly are not happy with these migrants moving into this hotel, and they really are coming out in droves and basically saying, "Look, we don't want these migrants in this hotel," and they're clearly standing up against it. So, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I only live about 20, say 25 minutes away from there. But I can't go there in the week because I work in the other direction, which is up the valleys. But and I normally don't get home till about 7, half 7 at night. So I can really only go there on the weekends. But I've got a lot of people that I know that live down there. We got activists in the area as well. And last night he reckons there was at least 800 people there because the streets all around the hotel were heaving. The police have dug a hole in the fence. The security guards that were in there were told they had to either leave or they're going to be locked in there because you know what's happened with the front entrance, the main road that goes into the hotel. Sorry.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah,
I was just saying with the front entrance. Yeah, it's been blocked off by the general public. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's because there's about 5 or 6 houses at the front of the hotel, and they own the entrance road. So they have blocked it with big rocks and Harris fencing. And the security guards went there the other day and used cutters and had to cut through the fence. And the police were called, and there was a bit of drama. and they had to show the deeds that they own that road, so they can't. There's nothing they can do. But the thing is now, is if they sneak all the migrants in through another entrance, then they can demand, the police can demand that that road is open for health and safety because of ambulances and things like that. So the plan is, we think the plan's going to be, they're going to rock up at 3 o'clock in the morning with the coaches, pile them all through the hole in the hedge, and then the police will say, well, you can't, the main road can't be blocked because in case there's a medical emergency, that's what they're going to say, you know? But people around, they're not just at the front of the hotel, they're all around the side and everything. And now somebody's made a complaint to the council about the damage to the hedge because it's like an unauthorized entrance. So see how they get on with that. But they're attacking it from all angles now. And there's so many people down there, and they're there. There's people sleeping there and everything now. They've got the local pub gave them another gazebo today, which is massive. And there's just loads of people there. There's people taking food up and bottles of water and everything for them, you know. So it's a full-on siege now, and that's how it needs to be. It's like it's not the same in Llantwit, which is the other town where we did a demo, right? And everybody, you know, the 200 or so people who were local, who were, you know, supporting us on the internet, didn't have the bottle to come and stand with us while we there getting attacked by 400 lefties. But like, but literally a lot of people in that town believe that they're going to get Ukrainians, and there's no way they're getting Ukrainians. Like, we've been keeping an eye on the building work there. They're building like 90 housing units for them, right? It will not be Ukrainians, because in another part of Llanelli, there's an old people's home called Lisa Drindod, and they chucked all the old people out of there, and it was for immigrants. And they said, oh, it'll be families, there's families. They put 2 Ukrainian families in there, but they were only there for a fortnight, and then they disappeared, probably been housed somewhere. And now that place is just full of African men. And that's what's going to happen in Llantwit. And that's the reason that in Llantwit, there's not the same sort of thing. Because in Llanelli, they know exactly what they're going to get. They're going to get a load of Africans and a load of Arabs and a load of Albanians. And they don't want them there, you know? And it's just like, it's, you know, only a few weeks ago, there was that Syrian guy stabbing babies in prams, wasn't there, in France? You know? And like, this is what the people in Llanelli are saying. How do they know they're not going to get a guy like that? That fella could have been in that hotel, couldn't he? And then he would have been stabbing babies in Llanelli, you know? And we're living under such a tyranny, right? That if we say too much about the crime that these people do, we can be arrested.
Yep.
You know? It's just like, because they'll say, oh, yeah, but you're only talking about those crimes to incite hatred. No, we're not. We just don't want our children being stabbed, thanks very much. You know? And this is the thing. But, you know, it's like, people were saying, shall we put pictures of like Emily Jones and that on leaf, you know, on bits of card and that to hold up and that? And people were saying, oh, you better not, because they might say you're inciting hatred. This is, do you know what I mean? This is the tyranny that we're living under. And you know, the thing is though, with all these hundreds of people down there, like behind the scenes, the Home Office, the police, the councils, the Welsh government, that bunch of communists, they must be having meetings and they must be terrified now, because this situation is not going to calm down. The numbers are massive. You know, even at the lowest times now, there's 40, 50 people there, right? And then when, you know, like tonight, there'll be a good few hundred there. And if that's going to be ongoing, they're going to need 50 police officers permanently posted outside that hotel. Now, surely they just can't afford to maintain that, can they? You know? So
No,
I
there's
think...
no way.
No, if this situation continues there and the people keep up the pressure, they're going to have to take them somewhere else. And then hopefully the whole thing will start over again. And then in the end, they'll have nowhere to go. But, you know, they can't possibly be planning to have 50 coppers outside a hotel for the next, like, 2 years, can they? Do you know what I mean?
No
This
way.
is going to cost an absolute fortune. Because then people, incidentally, they're determined and they will not give up. You know? This is not just a 5-minute thing. It's getting bigger every day. And people are getting angrier and angrier because the 4 people who got arrested the other day for blocking the road, they've
I
all been
saw that.
charged.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been charged. Like normally, when people get arrested at a demonstration and there's just a little bit of pushing and shoving, they don't normally get charged, unless it's like a EDL type thing where people are fighting with the police and all that. And lefties definitely don't get charged. They always get cautioned. And these 4 people have been charged. It's disgusting, that is. It's just like the police are just, and this is the same police that were outside Penally camp when that was full of migrants. And they were heavy-handed there. They were arresting people. They were baton charging people. They used gas on people. It's disgusting. Honestly, it literally is. And like, if you get burgled down here, right? I know people who own shops. They get burgled. The police don't even come. They say, "Can you drop off the CCTV at our office?" They won't even come up for a burglary, but they'll have 50 coppers outside the hotel to stop you protesting.
You're right.
It's absolute shocking, it is. But anyway, if people are on my channel on Telegram, it's Welsh Nationalist. I'm sharing all the stuff from there because we've got quite a few people down there. We've got people near enough there all the time. So every time something happens, we'll get a bit of footage and photos of that. So if you're not already on there, get on there, But we'll just keep bringing the news to people, and I'll be back down there on the weekend and that. So I'll let you know how it goes. We're expecting them to try and smuggle them in the middle of the night. But there's 77 rooms in there, and they're saying it's going to be 241 people in there, but they've got provision for an extra 100 if there's an emergency. And it's going to be an emergency because there's thousands of them and they got nowhere to put them. So it's bound to be an emergency, So they're going to be in 77 rooms. They're probably going to be, they tried to deliver a load of beds the other day. There was like 3 or 4 Dreams beds lorries, and they couldn't get down the road and the people blocked it. And they've taken all the old beds apart because I think they're going to put bunk beds in there because it's all men, because otherwise, why wouldn't they just leave the original beds in there? Do you understand what I mean? They've taken all the old beds apart and they got these lorries. I think they're delivering a load of bunk beds. So, but they can't get the bunk beds in, It's like literally can't get any vehicles anywhere near that hotel now. So, the thing is, there's people saying, this is violent. It's not violent. This is the only thing that people can do because the system does not allow them to protest. So all they can literally do is just block the place off. They got no other option. No one's going to help them. The 2 local MPs are commies. They're not interested. They're both open borders fanatics, and they're just not interested. But in the Daily Mail, it says, Neil Griffiths, the Labour MP, said people shouldn't listen to extremists and people on the internet. They should come and speak to their elected representatives. Well, your elected representatives are communists, and they're open borders freaks. So, do you know what I mean? So what's the point of going to them? They're not going to help you,
Exactly.
If they had their way, these people would be living in townhouses in the town, It's just, honestly, it's ridiculous. But, I'm really proud of the people down there, and we've been down there, and, like, we haven't been trying to hijack it, like people say. We've just been down there. I know loads of people who live there anyway, and we've been getting on just fine down there. And all we're doing is just supporting them,
Yeah, as it should be done. Yeah, absolutely. Because I did see the other groups like Voice of Wales have been down there as well, and I've seen some of their posts about it as well. Because I think a lot of people in the nationalist movement are just really surprised with what's been going on in Wales, especially in that area. Because as I said, the people there are just not happy with it, and they really are speaking out about it. And I really do hope in the future for like similar protests like that in Wales. I really do hope that it does open up the door for, well, I mean, if they can do it, then maybe everyone else can do it. I mean, sure, there has been previous protests in the past, but I don't think we've seen anything on the scale of what we're seeing in Wales right now. I mean, because I've seen videos of it. There's a lot of people that are there. In fact, there's one I think you shared, Joe, on Telegram, where it was from the hotel, but then there was like a line from there all the way to the pub. Is that correct? Which, if
Yeah.
that's it's a huge amount of people there.
Well, that was, and the thing is, there's a road that goes around behind the hotel. That road was chock a block with people as well because they were blocking it. And then the other road goes down towards the pub, and that road was chock a block as well. That's where, like my mate says, there was at least 800 people there. And the thing is we've been going down there for weeks and weeks now. Every weekend we've been down there. There's been 30, 40, 50 people outside, but every single car that went past was beeping and supporting. And everybody walking past was saying, nice one, guys, nice one, guys. But they weren't all, we were saying, why don't they all join us? Why are they just driving past beeping? But now the police have turned up and started getting heavy with people. Everybody's come up to support, And the thing is that the big difference is when there's hundreds and hundreds of people there, the police are nice as pie. But when there's only 30 or 40, they're acting like bullies, And it's the same as on other demonstrations. When there's not many of you, they're pushing people around. When there's hundreds of you, they're saying, oh, you okay? Oh, yeah, okay, you can have your demo, And it's just like they won't mess with people when there's hundreds of them. And there's going to be, and it's going to get bigger and bigger, this is, because they really, and the way that, the council, it's just like there was a march last week and we went to it and there was about 50 of our people there and 50 commies. And the commies had infiltrated this Facebook group and they were outside the hotel handing out these leaflets. And I took a leaflet off this guy and it said it was calling Voice of Wales Nazis and PA Nazis. And it was saying, the hotel's not the right place for them. We need to house them in the community. And they just they just trying to, and they were the same people who a week before were stood across the road with all the refugees welcome banners. And he's trying to give me a leaflet. And I said, you need to get lost now, right? And they recognized us and and then the Voice of Wales turned up as well. And they basically crapped themselves and disappeared, right? But they were saying, we don't want them in the hotel. We actually want to house them, And the one councillor who's saying this, he owns a load of houses in the town that are like houses of multiple occupation, where he rents out 6-bedroom houses to students and that. He wants to get them in his houses to start getting the money off the Home Office. Honestly, it's so out of 100 people on a match, 50 of them were commies. And as soon as we turned up, they all disappeared. It was unbelievable. But they were all arguing. There was just loads of arguments going on where these idiots were trying to say, oh, refugees, they're genuine refugees, and everyone was saying, well, why are they all men then?
Right.
Where's the wives and kids? Where's the wives and kids? And they were saying, oh, well, they've had to leave their wives and kids behind because they were so terrified. And what a load of nonsense that is. Would you run away from a war and leave your missus and kids behind? Because you wouldn't, would you?
No,
it's as simple because you could be an hour down the road and they're being murdered. Do you know what I mean? You just would not leave them behind. It's just, and if we're expected to believe that they're genuine refugees, it's unbelievable. That's how thick they think we are, Unbelievable. But anyway, I'll keep you updated. But I'm going to have to get off now because I'm still working. I'm supposed to be anyway. So
No worries,
I'll speak to you soon, right?
No worries. So thank you for coming on and sharing the information.
Yeah, no worries. I'll see you soon.
Right. Take care. Let me see. Oh, he's gone. Right. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Joe Marsh on the show. Again, it was very short but very sweet, telling about Wales and what's going on there. As I said to Joe, I did see some of the videos there. I was going to be, I might as well showcase some of the videos here because, again, one of the videos in particular, I was just amazed of the amount of people that were there. And what I think is rather funny, by the way, as Joe mentioned there just now with the lefties showing up, at first they were showing up a lot, showing their, oh, refugees are welcome here banners and all of that. But then, as of late, what we've noticing recently, especially about me or with this whole protest, not a lot of these lefties are showing up to these demonstrations now, which is that should really tell you something, doesn't it? I mean, sure, there may be like the one or two of them that will shout like, "Oh, fascist," blah blah blah, but we can clearly see that the left have lost when it comes to the general public here with that. But just got here, Miss Big Joe Marshlight. No worries, James Hayworth. What I will do is I'll keep this video or this stream up for about up until tonight. So people who have missed it live and even missed that part, with Joe there, they'll be able to watch it on the catch up type of thing. But no, it was great to have Joe on the show. Definitely follow him on Telegram if you can. Oh crap! I should have asked him if he was going to be streaming again with Bill Athling. I'm sure maybe there'll be something coming up in the pipeline, later on. But maybe at the moment he's focusing on making videos for that protest alone. But it's good nonetheless when it comes to that. So, but anyway. Real quick, Roy Harper at Chief Moody. My wife just turned to me and said, "I like that guy," referring to Joe Marsh. I think that she may have fallen in love. Well, Joe Marsh is a very popular character within the nationalist movement. A lot of people really do appreciate someone like Joe because he's very blunt and he's very honest about the stuff he says. Doesn't pull any punches of what he says, which is, I mean, you need someone like that in your life. You need a guy like Joe in your life, who will not shy away from the stuff he says regarding to that. So, Dotskin, thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. And also, I noticed there were comments about, I thought human smuggling was illegal, and that's referring to what Joe was talking about in terms of I think like a made up side entrance for the thing, but yeah. Again, you think maybe human smuggling would be illegal, and I believe it is illegal. But apparently, when it comes to refugees, quote unquote, it's no longer illegal. In fact, it's somewhat to be justified, especially when it comes to the fact that the general public in those areas clearly don't want these migrants in that area. But no, we're just gonna smuggle them in as best we possibly can. So again, we will say to the general public, human smuggling is illegal, but when it comes to with these migrants or these refugees, oh well, it's justified because they need our help and all that bullshit. But yeah, I think we'll move on from there. So again, appreciate Joe Marsh coming on. I think what we'll do is I'll play one video that's on the Joe Marsh Telegram page, or the Welsh Nationalist Telegram page. I'll see if I can get that up here in the moment. Sent him the link with that, which that's fantastic. Right, let me see if I can find his Telegram page. If I actually wait a minute, I know English Rose posted it in the chat. Which English Rose, thank you very much for sharing his link. For those who haven't followed them at the moment, let me see if I can actually try and hold on. Open up YouTube. That might be. Well, actually, no, I don't actually need to do that because I've got it here. Actually, now I think of it. 1 second. This one, right? Oh, I also shared the link for the stream. Perfect. Also, I did receive a donation earlier on. I'm going to mention the donation a bit later on, maybe during the Q&A section for the show, which would be about 6:30. But we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, I was actually shocked about that. The 4 people were charged for that demonstration, and they weren't really doing anything. They were just there participating in the demonstration, but they got charged for what exactly? I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyway, let me see if I can get some of the videos here. In fact, one in particular, I did see. Right. There's some of the videos. Right. Let me see if I can share the screen for you guys. I also appreciate 22 people watching the show at the moment, which is really good to see. Now, let me see if I can actually get to the share screen for the Welsh Nationalist Telegram page. The refugee welcome mob are scared of passionate working class people. This how we can win. Indeed, Martin, I agree with that. I do definitely agree with that. Let me see here. Dogskin, I noticed they don't like to show up to places they can pretend to have the moral high ground. Well, that's definitely true in that. I'll also make an argument that these leftists that come to these demonstrations or protests, you'll notice how they're not really from that area. In fact, most of the time they're bussed in from other locations. But again, it's fine when they do it apparently because they have the moral high ground, and caring about these refugees. Which at the end of the day, we know for a fact they don't really care about the refugees. They're only doing it because it's the virtue signal. That's why they're doing it, and also they want their delivered just eat food with regard to that. But anyways, charged for carrying an umbrella. From what I saw, I did see that, and it's ridiculous. Thought what they've been charged with, absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, here is Joe Marsh's Nationalist Telegram page, and the video in particular I want to bring up. Well, in fact, here's one of them, I think.
Well,
Here's
done,
one of them.
Flashy. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, look
And
at that.
that
That's
is what
a
you call
huge amount of
support,
people.
guys.
Yeah. So that's one of them. Let me see if I can get the other one. Here we go. Huge amount. Look at that. Huge amount. Yeah, look at the numbers here, and it's all the way down to the pub too. Yeah, again, huge amount. People in Llanelli, I think, or Clennelly, I think it's pronounced, but whatever. Again, it's Welsh, and I do try, but but look, in all seriousness, right? You can definitely tell that the people in that area are not happy with the way things are with these migrants moving into this area, or into that hotel, I should say, and the people are speaking out with it. And as I said to Joe just there, I really do hope that this opens the door for many demonstrations to be like that as well. Because again, I think that's what it really takes, which is community politics, and that right there is what you saw as community politics, where the whole community gets together and says their piece about that. And again, that's not to denigrate past demonstrations or turnouts in the past, but for me, in my opinion, I've not seen anything like a turnout that big and that scale before. And it really shows, and I hope that definitely gives like a boost of confidence for people who are not happy with this and wanting to speak out against it. And I hope that a protest like that in Wales definitely gives a bit of a confidence booster for people, and seeing actually they can do it and they can make a difference, and that's a prime example of that. Roy Herbert, real quick, how come Just Stop Oil can block roads without being arrested, but people like us can be on the spur of the moment? Well, again, there's a simple reason for that. It's because it's one rule for one group of people, and it's another rule for another group of people. So with Just Stop Oil, right, we know for a fact that it's a very leftist, very like that type of organization and all of that. So as long as you're on the right side of politics, being the left, then you'll get away with pretty much scot-free. You'll get away with absolutely fucking anything. But if you're someone on the right wing, even if it's the most milquetoast, basic bitch, conservative, or even just right-wing politics in general, then you'll be looked at as almost the enemy of the state. So again, and because of that, it's one rule for thee, another rule for thee, that type of thing. Class, that's why. I mean, class, you could say, does play a part in it. But I can kind of make the argument that, especially with the nationalist movement, I mean, I would say it's a bit strange because, I mean, yes, there's working class people, there's middle class people, and there's upper class people. See, I think when it comes to with the left, again, I know this may sound like a broad generalization, but the majority of the time with the left, or the anti-whites, whatever you want to call them, the majority of the time is usually middle class people that tend to be more on that side of the fence. Again, that's not to say that all middle class people are like that. I know there's people in the past on the show even that have made the point that, oh, well, not all middle class people are like that, or even do you think all middle class people are this way? Of course not. I think someone even asked me that. I can't remember who, but someone asked me, do you think middle class people are all basically the same or something to that effect? And I remember saying, well, no, look, at the end of the day, if you're somebody, to me, it doesn't matter where you stand on the social or on the class ladder or whatever you want to call it. If you're somebody who I can get along with, and vice versa, and we may have certain differences and all of that, but if we can get along just fine, then I got no problem at the end of the day, regardless of where you stand on the social scale or even the class scale regarding to that. But anyway, that's a point to make regarding to that. English Rose in the chat, you love to see it. Let this be an inspiration to the rest of Britain. Yeah, I hope it becomes an inspiration, because again, that's definitely a huge amount of people in that area in Wales. So I hope that comes to the point where if those people can do it, then other people can do it. So yeah, I was hoping to see it becomes an inspiration to people. Our laws are now applied based more on ideology than legality. Indeed, absolutely, that is the case. Class is irrelevant. They hate all of us. Well, especially when it comes to race. I mean, if you're white, then you'd be looked at as the enemy of the state, basically. Way I see it anyway, with regard to that. So, right, what we'll do now, folks, is it's just coming up to 6:30, and like I said, I'm going to be finishing just slightly early tonight because I've got a meeting to go to at 7. What we'll do is for the last half an hour, or maybe slightly less than, we'll just do like a short Q&A section as per usual. So if you have a question to ask me, please feel free to ask me that, or a question in the chat. Just put in @Chief Moody and then ask away. It could be any question you would like, and I'll be happy to answer it. And this is also the perfect time where I want to go through some of the donations that I have went through, which I believe one came through it just now. Or earlier on, I should say, regarding to that. In fact, let me see if I can get up here just now, because it's quite a big donation. Now, I won't mention the person's name because I think it's their real name. So again, just for privacy's sake, I will not, mention their real name. I don't want to dox the person, of course, when it comes to that. So, what I will say on that fact, hold on a minute here. Let me see. And did they send a message through? Hold on a minute. Right. So, okay. So I'm just going to read out this donation, which is £50 through PayPal, which whoever sent that through, I know that their name is on there, but again, just for privacy's sake, I'm not going to mention their name because I don't know if it's, I'm not going to mention their name again, just for privacy's sake, but they have sent in £50 of a donation through, which thank you very much. And I believe they've sent in a message through as well, which reads, "Hey, Chief Moody, hope everything is going well with you and the PA boys. Also, a heads up, when I turn notifications for your channel on it, never lets me know when you go live." Yeah, that's a YouTube thing, unfortunately. I don't know if it's, I mean, I would say, I think many people would say, well, it's probably because of the shadow banning thing, but I don't know. I think it could be like another reason for it, but yeah, whoever was that sent in that £50 donation, again, not gonna say their real name, the showcase that, again, greatly appreciate your kind generosity. I know £50 is a hefty amount of money, but I greatly appreciate that, and thank you very much for that. And speaking of which, if you still want to send a donation through, you can always send through PayPal, which is up there, which is a more simplified version of the link I was sent through in the past episodes. So if you want to send a donation through the PayPal, that would be the best link for it. Alternatively, you can send a donation through via Buy Me a Coffee, or even through the Odyssey support button, which is on my Odyssey page, if you can, when it comes to that. Again, please don't feel obligated if you have to do that or have to send a donation through. The option is there, basically. If you want to send a donation through, that would be very appreciated. And any donation received would be supporting the show and also going towards activism. Because like I said, now I'm a regional organizer for PA Scotland. That could go through towards leaflets, banners, you name it, that type of thing. And also, I see English Rose posting that brand new PayPal link in the chat just now, which thank you very much for that, English Rose. Greatly appreciate it. Jojo Gizmo in the chat. Oh no, sorry. Actually, hold on 1 minute here. Earl of Stair. I'm very upper class. In fact, I am the second cousin of King Charles. Interesting. Well, thank you very much for pointing that out, Errol Stair, but thank you very much for that. Jojo Gizmo in the chat writes a question. What's happened to Jodie Kay? Her radio show hasn't been on for months and doesn't do videos anymore. I don't know what's happened to Jodie. I mean, I've seen her posting some or making some posts on Telegram here and there, but maybe it's other things going on just now that maybe she's busy with, but maybe she'll come back. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't think anything has bad happened to her because, like I said, she is still posting some or posting stuff on Telegram here and there. But again, maybe I don't know for sure, but maybe she's just been busy with things going on just now. So hopefully she'll come back at some point. I did ask her at some point in the past that I would like to have her on my show, but she's never really got around to it. I know I've appeared on her show before, on her radio show at one time. But we'll see if we can arrange something, and hopefully she does come back. I mean, like I said, maybe she's busy with stuff going on just now, but Jodie was very upset at the Homeland split. Maybe that has affected her a bit. I mean, I can understand. I mean, I know that did affected a lot of people when it did happen, but maybe Jodie Kay is pregnant. I don't know about that. I mean, it does sound a bit too personal, but I don't know for sure. And even then, it's been a while since she's been last online, so I think maybe she would announce something like that if she's seen someone, but I don't know. But no, maybe it's like family matters or something like that. I don't know for sure with that, but hopefully, I do hope that Jodie Kay is doing well, and hopefully, she can come back. But I don't know, but but hopefully she's okay regarding to that. I hope she's doing well regarding to that. So, but anyway, Earl of Stair, we want with that. That's fine. As a response to the comment that that they made in the chat there just now. Let me see here. And even with being upset about the split, I think a lot of people were quite upset about that split when it happened. I was a bit upset with it, for like for a while, but not like crying or anything with that, but just like just sad and that the whole thing had happened. But like I said, it is what it is, and and that's life. You have to move on when it comes to you have to move forward at the end of the day regarding to that. But yeah. So, any other questions to come through? It could be any question at all. It could be politics related. It could be pop culture related, like films or TV or music or anything like that at all. Just it could be anything. It could be anything at all regarding to that. You can ask me my opinions on certain things, and yeah, of course, it could be anything at all. And of course, during that time, you still want to send a donation through, then you still can do it if you want to. Let me see here. So yeah, while I wait on another question, I was going to mention, I was going to say, we know Joe Marsh was on the show as a quick guest on the show, but we got another guest coming on here just now who's going to sit next to me. Come on. I think we all know who exactly it is, but I'll just get him on the couch just now. Come on up. Come on. You probably heard him already. It's Otis, but come on up. It's okay. You can sit here. It's fine. Oh, there he is. There's Otis. Hey, I'm trying to pet you. I'm trying to be nice to you. Don't know if you guys can see him, but there he is. Otis. Hold on a minute. Let me just move the mic. There he is. There's Otis. Hey. I'm trying to be nice to you, dog. I'm trying to pet you, but no, you're just trying to bite my hand. I don't know why. Hey. It's quite funny when he tries to. I mean, it's not like it doesn't hurt like when he tries to bite. It's like that playful type of biting, but it's funny when he tries to go for my hand, like he does a little hop or whatever. But yeah, it's quite funny that. But yeah, he's there for now. So if he makes it snoring or anything like that at all, then my apologies. But yeah, he's a French bulldog, so it's bound to happen. Doskin in the chat writes, Moody, from your experience with PA, do you think there are specific things people respond to better when distributing pro nat material? That's actually a pretty good question. I think it just really depends, really, because I know people would say that going on the internet or even start watching stuff like content wise online, it definitely opens the door for like maybe like I'm gonna say normies, who don't really pay attention to politics as much. It definitely opens the door to them of the stuff that's going on and people are actually talking about it. Um, when it comes to like IRL stuff, like say leaflets or banner drops or anything like that at all, because from my personal experience, we do get more positive than negative comments. I mean, and also people would come up and would be pretty curious about what we're showcasing with the leaflets or anything like that at all. Many people would want to have a look further into it and all of that. You'll do get some of the naysayers who are either who's kind of like be like very aggressive and like, oh, they'll get this like fascist filth away from here or anything like that at all. But 9 times out of 10 it's been pretty positive, and I think it's more of a case of really both. And also when it comes to leafleting, because I'll be honest, right, I'm not really a fan of leafleting, but I know it needs to be done. But again, I think with the leaflets, it really depends on the leaflet when it comes to it. Because what I've noticed recently, or well, not recently, I think about like a year ago, when PA first started the the cost of living crisis leaflet, when we started delivering those leaflets, we've noticed that they're actually pretty popular. People resonate to those leaflets a lot more because it was dealing with a subject matter that was very relevant at the time and probably still is relevant at the moment with what's going on just now. With the inflation, with many people can't really afford things at the moment. But yeah, a lot of people tend to resonate with that leaflet a lot more than say if you were to give them the white minority leaflet. Now, some people would agree with the white minority leaflet, but there will be some people that are either very vocal, like, oh, this is like horrendous, like this is racist, and all of that. And or maybe they would try and accuse you of being a conspiracy nut or whatever. But so I think it just really depends on it. I think some people do take away positive more often than not when it comes to doing some activism with that. So I hope that answered your question, Docskin. I think it ultimately depends on what it is, basically, with that. I think more people do respond to it positively, and also maybe out of curiosity, like, oh, like, what's all this about? And then you'll get some like naysayers, but most of the time it's been mainly positive when it comes to it. Top Black Otis, he's not sleeping at the moment. He's kind of cleaning himself, but yeah, he's doing all right. And also English Rose, I was going to ask how Otis was doing. He's actually doing fine. Yeah, I've mostly been, because I've been off work today, I've mostly been looking after him from time to time. Because again, my mom asked me to look after him while she's at work, and then she'll collect him after collect him after she finishes her work, and then of course go back to her house and all of that. So, but yeah, but no, he's been doing fine. Yeah, I've just been looking after him with that. I'm planning on to have him out for. Well, actually, what I was going to plan on taking him out for a walk, but he hasn't really been. I don't know if it's the weather that's been too hot for him. That's why he hasn't been really out much. But nah. But other than that, he's been fine. He's been all right. He's still a bit of a puppy, but yeah, he'll get there. So yeah, if you can hear the noises, he's still like cleaning himself. But yeah, he's all right. He's doing fine. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. No worries, Docskin. I was a bit worried that I didn't really answer the question, but I hope that did answer the question when it comes to that. So, but you're welcome anyway. Roy Herbert, Chief Rudy, any thoughts about Joe Biden's visit to the UK? The media made a big fuss about Trump walking in front of the Queen, but there seems to be no reaction to Biden walking in front of the King. I mean, look, again, it's going back to what I was saying when it comes to portrayals between the left and the right. There's like rules for thee, but not for thee type of idea. I mean, and I know people are going to have their opinion on Donald Trump and all of that, but again, it's just a classic case of rules for thee, but not for thee type of thing. So if Trump does it, then he's like the worst person ever. When Biden does it, oh well, that's completely fine. He's just a senile old bastard. But but I mean, to be honest, I think it was expected of Biden to come down to the UK for a visit. I mean, I'm not really that fussed, to be fair. Biden is pretty much a walking meme at this point, and nobody takes him seriously. There's no real any point of really talking about Biden except the fact that he's a possible nonce. The whole sniffing, young glasses hairs, which I don't know why you would do that, but all right. But there we go. That's my take on Biden visiting the UK. English Rose saying base Otis. Yeah, he's pretty based. I mean, he's pretty based. Yeah. Ori. Oh. What? Don't try and bite me. I'm trying to be nice to you. Oh. That's another thing too, as well. Sometimes my mom can't take him back to her house, but she would ask me if I think it's only fairly recently. She's asked me if I could have him stay overnight, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So he does have a bed, like a spare bed over here, but normally he would sleep next to me in my bed, which is like not really much of an issue. But sometimes I would wake up during the night because of him snoring. But yeah. Anything coming out soon you excited for? Movies, games, etc.? Not really, to be honest. I mean, I've pretty much just given up on the whole. Like, I know I used to be a fan of the Marvel movies when they were coming out, but I'm just not really. I just don't really care anymore with that. I think again, it's all filled with like anti-white propaganda at this point in time, and I mean, I was more of like a DC fan anyway. So you think I would be a lot more excited with stuff like the new Flash film that's out at the moment, but I just don't care when it comes to be honest. In terms of games, I know the Resident Evil 4 remake has came out a few months ago. I really want to get around to playing that, but I just never really had enough time to do it. So maybe at some point, and maybe in the next few weeks or so, but I don't know. We'll see with that. We'll definitely wait and see if I can. Because like I said, I'm busy with work. I'm busy with stuff with like as a regional organizer. So yeah, maybe I don't know if I might get the chance to, but at some point I will if I do have a chance to when it comes to it. So that's pretty much the only thing I'm looking forward to when it comes to it. So game wise, Resident Evil 4 remake, if I can give the chance to play it, of course. I particularly like Biden's 5.01 V8 environmentally friendly motorcade. Fair enough. Gamma Sandwich, Jarvis Cocker's song sang it years ago. The world is run by. I never actually heard of that before, but that sounds like a pretty good song. But anyway, let me see. Anything going on Telegram as of late? No, it doesn't look like it. No, seems to be pretty quiet at the moment on Telegram, so that seems to be fine and dandy. I did see the National Justice Party. They just posted something earlier today. One of their leaflets that was going around at I think it was like a Trump rally or like a Trump rally or a Republican rally, and it was featured on MSNBC by Rachel Maddow, which is a pretty big deal in my opinion when it comes to it. So it's nice to see that the National Justice Party is getting some recognition based on their leaflet. And actually, I might as well just play it on the show here because it's actually pretty based. I know Rachel Maddow would be like a cranky, like bitch because of it. It's so racist, it's so anti-Semitic. But let's have a look at this video about their new leaflet. Hold on, let me see if I can get this up here real quick. Another Telegram notification. I thought that was a donation notification, but no, that's fine. Mike Pinovich I think is the latest person to post it. Let me see if I can find it here. Wait a minute. Where is it? Oh, right. I think I found it here. Right. I don't want to do that. I don't know what's going on. There we go. All right.
Maybe that you.
Here's a video in question. We'll just watch it all the way through. And I just hope one day PA might get the same treatment with one of our leaflets that gets featured on. I know it's featured on documentaries and such, but to have it be showcased on a mainstream news outlet, that's quite a big deal. Hopefully, PA might get something like that in the future. Maybe actually we did with Channel 4, but anyway, but yeah, this is pretty based on the National Justice Party's front. So let's have a look at this. So 3, 2, 1.
Maybe that you also heard recently about this material that was circulated at the most recent Donald Trump rally in South Carolina. This is a flyer promoting what is supposedly a new political party. It has as the #1 plank in its platform, quote, secure a permanent white majority. We're not going to spend too much time here on this group and what they want, but consider also that plank #4 in their platform is, quote, a 2% ceiling on Jewish representation. This flyer was circulated at Trump's last rally in South Carolina. The group that produced this flyer and that claims these principles, they have since been bragging online about how well received they were with this stuff. When they went person by person in hand through the crowd at Donald Trump's last rally. And again, this is a rally for the Republican Party's last president, who is also the prohibitive frontrunner for the Republican Party's next presidential nomination. Flyer circulating at his last campaign rally, secure a permanent white majority.
Gosh, she's insufferable. Anyway, that was that for the National Justice Party. They got some recognition on the news, which is pretty base. Hopefully, again, I think PA had something. I think PA had something like that happen before with the Channel 4 news, but I don't know. But it's nice to see that our nationalist talking points are being presented to the mainstream. So it's pretty based, I will say, pretty based with that. Let me see. Did you hear about the Pink Floyd singer that got into trouble with the juice? I have heard about that, yes, and it's pretty funny to be fair when it comes to that. So pretty funny nonetheless. Let me see here. Love it, hell yeah. When you get the mainstream media spurging, that's a win. Yeah, it definitely is a win with that. It's pretty based. Roy Herbert, Chief Rudy, what do you feed Otis, by the way? My dog loves Tesco dental sticks as a treat, which you might want to consider. Thank you for the consideration of that, Rory. Because he's still a puppy, technically, he eats a lot of, he pretty much eats anything. And not like stuff he's not supposed to eat, like chocolate or anything like that at all. But whenever I have meat, so say if I'm making like a burger or like maybe like link sausages or pork sausages, like stuff like that, every single time I have stuff like that cooking or if I make it or whatever, I guarantee he would just come right up next to me. He's like expecting a bit, but no, normally he would eat like normal dog food, like meat, and I think he has some like the small puppy biscuits type of not like. It's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of like the small, like the tiny biscuits he would normally eat, but that's pretty much what we normally have. Again, he would have some of like my food. Again, if it's like meat related, like pork or steak or whatever, I would just give him a little tiny bit and say, right here, that's just that bit, and that's it. Because he's very greedy when it comes to, especially when it comes to food. He acts like he doesn't normally get fed, but he does. He gets fed regularly, and every time he comes up to me like with a piece of my food, he's like, "Oh, food." But yeah, he does get fed quite a lot. So, but yeah, hopefully that may answer your question with that question, Roy Herbert. Thank you very much. Why are you trying to bite me? I'm just petting you. I'm just petting you, boy. Oh. There is Does Otis eat haggis? Funnily enough, I haven't had haggis in a while. I was actually thinking about going out later on and get some for my dinner, but maybe that could be part of the agenda of having something for eat later on for haggis, and maybe I can. I don't. I think he can eat haggis because that's the type of meat, isn't it? So maybe I could give him a piece to try. Because I mean, 'cause when it comes to meat, he'll basically eat anything. So when it does come to meat, so maybe you can try a bit of haggis if he wants to. But yeah. Anyway, folks, that's 6:50 just now, or 10 to 7. Like I said, I have a meeting to go to at 7 o'clock. So I want to get out of here as best as I possibly can. I know it sounds a bit abrupt, but again, I just want to be prepared for that meeting type of thing. And I'm going to see if I can get a song up here just now as like an outro song type of idea. And let me see. And for that's going to be the end of tonight's episode. I should be back for Sunday, this coming Sunday, or maybe Monday, but I'll keep you guys. Sorry, I'll keep you guys updated with that. And yeah, so let me see what song to play us out with. And also, again, to the person who did send the £50 donation, thank you very much for doing so. That is much appreciated. I appreciate your kind generosity. I know that's a lot of money, but still, thank you very much for that. And for those who haven't donated, or whatever the case may be, you still have time to send a donation through with that PayPal link, or even through Buy Me a Coffee, whatever. You can still do so if you want to, whether it be during the ending or even after the show airs. Again, please don't feel obligated if you have to donate. The option is there if you want to with that. So I'm trying to see what song to play us out with that. But hopefully you've all enjoyed tonight's episode. And like I said, I should be back for Sunday, maybe Monday, but I'll keep you guys updated with that. And then we shall see from there. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to see like what song, like ideally what type of song that would be fine to play this out the show with. Odie. Don't want to make it too long because, like I said, I need to leave just before 7 or log off just before 7. I'll play this. Why not? Yeah, why not? Cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the end of tonight's episode. Follow me on Telegram and all the other social media platforms if you can. That would be much appreciated, of course, just for updates and such. And yeah, that's going to be the end of tonight's episode. So thank you all very much once again for participating and watching the show. Much appreciate your ongoing support. And I'll see you all next time. This is Chief Moody signing out. You have been watching the Mood of the Nation podcast, and I will see you all in the next episode. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. And thank you all again, and good night. Take care.
Years of being told you ain't as good as us. Join the line, sign your name, and they all all said that our country's going bust, but no one's fooling us again. England belongs to me, a nation's pride, the dirty water of the rivers. No one can take away her memory. Oh, England belongs to me. We've shown the world that the boys are back to stay, and you all know what we can do. It's held high, fighting all the way for the red, white and blue. England belongs to me, a nation's pride, the dirty water of the rivers. No one can take away her memory. Oh, England belongs to me. England belongs to me. You better believe it. A nation's pride, the dirty water of the rivers. No one can take away her memory. Oh, England belongs to me. England belongs to me. A nation's pride, the dirty water of the rivers. No one can take away her memory. Oh, England belongs to me. England belongs to me. A nation's pride, the dirty waters of the rivers. No one can take away her memory. Oh.